Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to European Truck Simulator, and welcome back to Malmö, which is Sweden, is it not? Is it? I think it is. I think it is. You know, I try to be very mindful of my... Yeah, it sure is. Try to be very mindful of my European and Scandinavian geography. You know what I mean? I don't want to be disrespectful. So, let's get a map turned on. We are still, as you can see, we are still in our Volvo Rigid with the dolly. I love this truck. I love it. I'm so, I don't know, like immersed in mods. You know, there's just so many of them. There's so many of them. I was really not planning on ever owning, or driving a Volvo. And yet, here we are. Those hiccups, man. Still getting those hiccups. Don't know what those are. But at least they're not like they were. And to be fair, they were happening even before I started recording. They were happening. So it goes. So today is Saturday for me. I'm going to post this on Monday. You're going to see it on Monday. And I really want to live stream tomorrow. I really want to live stream in general, but I haven't had good luck with it yet. And there's a couple things, I don't want to say holding me back, maybe that's too strong a word, but there's a couple hurdles that I need to overcome. And one of them is I want to be a minimum 720p 60 FPS. I'm told that for some reason the FPS is more, it gives you a better look than the resolution, so you can go 1080p at 30 FPS and it doesn't look as good or work as well as 720p at 60 FPS, which also uses less bandwidth. And then as far as like what kind of bandwidth you want and what works and you know what's enough. And right now I just relocated to a new Airbnb and we are on 100 meg down pipe and about 20 up pipe, which I think it's actually more than enough for 1080p 60 FPS as far as bandwidth, but I don't think my machine could process that. I don't think it could do both, you know, rendering the game and trying to get everything encoded for upload. So I think I'm going to go 720p 60 FPS. I know I've got bandwidth for that, and I'm really interested in doing that. So if I do that, well, I take that back. That's the first hurdle I need to overcome. So if I live stream tomorrow, that's the sort of the technical, I don't know, specs that I'm dealing with right now. But then the other thing, like I said, is, you know, what I want to do. And I'm figuring because it's Sunday, I think I would be racing. You know, Sunday's typically my race day when I was recording and posting, but I haven't, you know, I haven't been because I don't have my wheels, so I've only got a couple of sims, race sims, that are configured for the gamepad, and I've told you I don't want to like reconfigure anything that I have set up for wheel. I don't want to reconfigure it for gamepad. So it would either be a rally sim or race room. Race room I've already done a few of. And rally, I have to tell you, I'm like frankly intimidated. There's no other word for it, but the idea of live streaming rally, you know, like of all the race sims, and you know, rally is racing, but of all the race sims that I play and enjoy and whatever, I feel like rally is the one that is the most sort of dicey, if that makes sense. It's so hit or miss, you know, as far as something that's going well, going very badly, very quickly. Just taking a kind of a wide swing in here. Taking a wide swing. He's got a bit of a wide stance. I feel like things go sour in rally faster than they do in racing. Although maybe not. I don't know, because if you stuff an open wheel car, that's it. You're done. You can't like limp to the service area and get put back together. You're done for the day. So, I don't know. Get to neutral here. You know I do this. I go to neutral, I put it in park, I turn the wipers off, lights off, engine off. Here we go. So, you know what I mean? And I mean, I watch other people. I watch their recorded videos. I watch their live streams, and I have to say, you know, I envy people in a good way, not like a crazy person, but I sort of envy people that are not self-conscious. And I see people just playing games online and just having a good time. And you know, they play truck sim and they bump stuff and hit stuff. I mean, I bump stuff and hit stuff, but it really bothers me. I see people that are just like bouncing off the walls. They're having a great time. I see people race, and you know, they're to me, they're not racing realistically. They're just having a good time. And you know, people watch and whatever, but it's not my jam, yo. I take these things really seriously, perhaps too seriously. But the idea of like stuffing a rally car and limping into a service area, even though that is a real part of, well, it's not just a real part of how I rally sim, but it's a real part of real rally sim, like in real life, you know. And I feel like, particularly in dirt rally, where I've got, I know I repeat myself, I apologize, but last episode I mentioned that in dirt rally, you know, if you finish on the podium, it bumps you to the next difficulty, period. That's it. So I'm at the professional level right now, and I'm doing all right. I believe I'm 4th in points after 2 stages. I'm sorry, after 2 rallies. But the rallies are like 10 stages now at professional. I believe at elite they're 12 stages per location. So it gets kind of, you know what I'm saying? It gets a little hectic. And the nice thing about that is you don't need to like finish first all the time. It really is. I mean, I found a Reddit thread. People were talking about that, and somebody said that he had won a rally without ever winning a stage. So, you know, I understand that like stuffing the car, it happens and happens in real life. It's not a big deal, but to me it's like, oh, you know, I'd be so embarrassed. So I don't know. That's sort of on my mind. Or I could just take a day off. I could do that too. But today, my voice is a little bit gone already. I just went to a football game, college football game, and there was some yelling. There might have been some yelling. So yeah, man, it's I don't know. We'll see. I might take a day off, but I really want to do a race video. I feel like I haven't done a real race video for a long time, and you know, way back on the channel, way back on the channel, I was doing like 15 lap races at big tracks, you know, 45-minute, 15-minute races, and I did it, you know, I did it without stuffing the car. I did it hopefully without embarrassing myself, although, you know, in kind of a broad sense, like when I go back and watch those videos now, it's like, had a lot to learn. I still do, but I had a lot to learn then, and as far as how I was capturing and microphone and even just my presentation and everything, I'm a lot more, I feel like, I mean, I'm not yelling, I'm never going to be one of those guys, but, or women stream too, women record too, but I'm reluctant to say I was mumbling, but I was a lot more soft-spoken. I was not projecting as much as I am now, so I had a lot to learn, but my point is I was doing like full races on not max AI, but I tend to like, I've never in any race sim, I don't want to be on like potato assists, because I feel like you're not really, well, for one thing, it's kind of harder to drive the car. It's easier to go fast, but it's harder to drive the car. I feel like you're in arcade mode, you know, you're not really, you're just kind of learning how to arcade drive, but it's not like really driving. So I turn all the assists off, and even, you know, with assists off and damage on, I was still kind of hanging in there. And I won sometimes. I had some decent finishes. So I did it before, is what I'm saying. And the only difference is when you're recording, if everything goes tits up on you, you can just stop the recording. You can either re-record it, or you can just not do anything, do something else. But live stream is, you know, and again, it's one of those things, and I say this all the time too, and I'm not fishing for like validation or anything. It's true story. It's like nobody's watching anyway. I could do a live stream tomorrow. I could crash the car all day. Nobody would see it. Ain't nobody coming to my live stream. Not yet. Maybe we'll get there. I hope we do. It'd be nice. But at the moment, ain't nobody watching. So really, I've got the latitude to do anything I want. So you'll see this on Monday. New week starting. Saturday. I don't know. I mean, I think Friday is the end of the week. So I don't know what Saturday is. Saturday's kind of a limbo day. So, I don't know where I'm at. Let me point something out. I've got the cast trailers installed. And, well, I've always had them installed, but they switched over at some point because it used to be they were, that when you went to the depot, you had to, like, find one, You had to pick your trailer. And now that we have buyable trailers, you can buy a carry trailers by cast. And the thing is, I feel like I keep seeing them everywhere. And I don't know if they're actually overrepresented in the game, or if that's just confirmation bias. Like when you get a new car, suddenly that's the only car you see everywhere all the time. Why is he getting over? What does he know that I don't know? No, I got arrows down there. I got arrows telling me to get over. Okay, maybe he doesn't know as much as he thinks he knows. Aha, sir. But you get what I'm saying. They're everywhere. So we'll see. Let's keep a weather eye out, as they say, and see if there really are a ton of them. And I think I said that last episode also. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's, there's a different kind of skill set involved in this whole YouTube thing than what I thought. I thought that the trick was going to be being a good gamer. And, I see me driving the truck here. Now, to be fair, I've driven virtual trucks. I've driven the truck sim. It has to be thousands of hours by now. So I feel pretty comfortable driving a truck. I feel comfortable driving in different conditions and, visibility and different length trailers. I do all right. I bump some stuff. I hook some stuff now and then. Very embarrassing. But for the most part, I can drive the hell out of this truck. No problem. And I think before I started doing this, there was a part of me that was like, that's really where it's at, is how well you game. And I think some of that, honestly, may be coming from the race sim side of it, where really the only race sim that anybody really wants to see is one where you are just absolutely killing it. And I have seen, just saying earlier, I have seen some live streams where people are just kind of having a good time. But I don't know that their audience is really the sim race crowd, because the sim race crowd is pretty merciless, I have to say. And I know, and I don't mean this in a bad way when I say it, but it's a fact. There's a lot of kids on YouTube, a lot of kids watching on YouTube. I don't dislike kids. Not in a carry trailer next to us, by the way. I don't dislike kids, but I'm not particularly a fan of kids. I don't have kids. And obviously what I'm doing here, what I'm trying to do, not in a carry trailer. What I'm trying to do here is not for kids. It's not, I don't cuss or anything, or at least I try to keep it to a minimum. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it's like not safe for work or anything. It's just not, I know kids would really not be in it. It's way too boring for kids. Not in a carry trailer. Also not in a carry trailer. Okay, maybe I just noticed it a little bit more because of that dang old confirmation bias. But I guess I'm saying that because I have that sort of race sim, I don't know, whatever, I just always assume that the quality of the gameplay is going to be paramount. And I'm realizing two things. I'm realizing, A, not the case. It really comes down to the YouTuber. It comes down to the presenter, for lack of a better word. And the reason is, man, there are probably 1,000 people literally across the platform, across the YouTube platform. There are probably literally 1,000 people live streaming Euro Truck. And I'm not live streaming, but you know what I mean. it's everywhere, you know? So it's not, we don't need to worry about whether or not we're the best Euro truck driver tonight, because I really don't think that's what is causing people to prefer one channel over another. I really think it comes down to the quality of the presentation and the quality of the YouTuber. And I have to say, I was not anticipating that. Why? Our frame rate is just, I feel like something is eating our frames. Our frame rate is being consumed by some unknown entity. Huh. Okay. All right, it's coming back a little bit. You know what? There's going to be hot spots. There's going to be hot spots. It's inevitable. Get my wipers off. Beautiful. So that is one thing that I did not anticipate. I really didn't. And, you know, I thought I'd done plenty of research, but it just didn't click for me that it's like, I don't want to say everybody on YouTube, every YouTube gamer is good, but they're all good, you know. You sort of, that's not what guides you from one YouTuber to another as far as, you know, what quality of gameplay you want to see. Although I think that can be a part of it. I think, like I said, it just comes down to the YouTuber. But then on top of that, I also did not anticipate things like the quality of the render and how much work would go into, like, and when I say work, I have to always stress, like, I am definitely not digging for coal here. This is not hard work at all. I'm gaming and I love gaming. But there has been a process to figure out, like, how to capture and you know, getting microphones sorted out, and then figuring out I'm actually going to record my audio on a different laptop and then bring the two together, and I'm going to do that so I can have post-processing on my audio and de-essing and high-pass filtering and just a lot of things that I really thought maybe this was a little naive of me, or maybe I was just getting too enthusiastic, but I really did think, like, I'll focus on the quality of the gameplay and everything else will just fall into place. And here we are coming up on, not quite a year later, about 9 months in, I think. 9 months and 360 videos, which is amazing to me. But I'll tell you something about that in a minute. But, you know, we're this deep, and it's growing, but it's growing slowly. And I'm you know, I don't want to say it hurts, but on some level, you know, I look at my stats and I'm like, okay. Ain't nobody watching my videos, and it does, you know. And I guess that's the thing, is it's like going up on stage, open mic night at your local coffee shop. You know, you go up there with your little acoustic guitar and play a couple Tori Amos songs, and people clap. That feels great. People don't clap. That does not feel great. And it's, you know, you make the choice. You want to go up there and risk people not clapping, you know. So that's I guess been another sort of eye-opener as far as, you know, putting videos up on YouTube, is you do put some work into these, you do put some effort into them, and you want them to be awesome, and then nobody watches them, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, and it's sort of a dilemma. It's the classic artist's dilemma, which is, do I want to continue doing, like, what I feel in my heart, for lack of a better word? Or do I want to start tailoring things to get more likes, to get more views? And for the moment, I'm going to stick with doing what I feel like doing. Not in a belligerent way. I'm not like, I'm going to do what I feel like doing. I don't mean it like that. I just, at the moment, I feel like this is, you know, I read over and over and over online people saying, just be yourself, do what feels right. An audience will find you. You know, there's an audience for anything on YouTube. There's some weird stuff on YouTube, man. Weird stuff. Does not turn up in the recommended videos. You got to look for it. But it's weird. And I'm not talking about, like, violent stuff or nasty stuff or anything, but there is some weird stuff on this platform. And it's got an audience and it's got tons of views. So I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I feel good about this. And earlier I said, you know, I'll tell you something about that. I'll tell you something about that. I've been watching the Rad Brad a lot. The Rad Brad does FPS, and I guess there's sort of a crossover for, well, there's no O, so it's not MMORPG. It's just mostly MRPG. And I was watching one of his videos the other day, and he said he's been doing this for 8.5 years. And he said, man, I just love making videos. And I think that's a part of it too that gets really sort of lost in the sauce, is there is a part of this that I just like doing this, man. It's almost sometimes like YouTube is the excuse to have a place to put them, but really I just like gaming and recording it, you know, and trying to make good videos with a good capture. And it's a weird thing, you know, because I think about it and I'm like, really? That's what you're into? Yeah, man. I like sim gaming, and I like making videos. I just like making them. So, whatever, you know. I hope my audience finds me, but if they don't, I'm gonna keep making them. And as far as, you know, trying to tailor things to be a little bit more, you know, what your audience is looking for. Like if somebody leaves a comment and says, "Hey, man, you got to speak up a little bit. You got to balance your audio a little better. I can barely hear you." I'm not going to read that comment and be like, no, I'm doing it my way. That's not what I mean by like, you know, being yourself. That kind of feedback, you know, if I got a comment and somebody said, try making like 25-minute videos instead of 45 minutes. All right, I will definitely try making 25-minute videos or whatever. Or it could be the other way. Somebody says, you know, make hour-long videos instead of 45 minutes, whatever. Man, I'll be happy to try that. But if somebody was like, hey, why don't you start doing Rick and Morty? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. That is somebody else's channel. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm more than happy to evolve the channel in the direction of better quality, higher quality. But I want to do that in the context of still doing what I want to do, I guess. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think it does. It makes sense. Whoa. You seeing this? Oh, it's just dropping. It's really dropping in cities, and I don't know why. I think, man, I hope it's not this truck. I hope it's not. Oh, that was 10 FPS right there. Oh dear. Okay. Hey, you know what? Whatever. We'll just have to deal with it. I think part of it is pro mods, but like I said, I hope it's not this truck, because I really like this truck. And again, you know, I didn't have to like do some Indiana Jones crap to get this truck. I wasn't like ziplining between skyscrapers and, you know, cracking bank vaults or anything. But it took a little work to find it and to get it in the right mod order and to get it working. And as far as, you know, like building a truck in the truck configurator, I don't know where I'm at with that. I mean, there's times that I look at it, because I really do believe that art is everywhere, and art is any creative process that anybody chooses to participate in. Man, that's art. And I love art. I love the concept of art. I love when people express themselves, and I really don't care what the medium is. So if the medium is sim gaming on YouTube, then you're an artist. You're an artist. And when I see the way people put trucks together, I think that's a form of expression. I guess that's a little bit of art. And then I get all conflicted, because I'm like, yeah, but somebody else built that mod. Like, somebody else did all that work. And I'm like, well, that's like saying that, you know, you painted a portrait, but because you didn't mix the paint yourself, because you didn't grind the pigment, that it doesn't count. And it's like, no, man, you painted that portrait. So I like the process of finding mods, and I also enjoy the process of like configuring trucks, setting trucks up the way I want them to be. And I know everybody does that. It doesn't really take any skill, but I think it sort of does, because there's some trucks you look at them when they're done and it's like, ugh. I hope that makes you happy, because that is just not my particular brand of vodka. But at the same time, it's like, well, no, but who cares, because it's not your truck. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a fun process for me to, first off, to find the mod, and then to configure the truck, and to, like this one, you know, we got the rigid up front, and finding the rigid conversion, and then going in and configuring it and getting the heights right, getting the reefer boxes set up, because I had to like go back and forth between the truck configurator and the trailer configurator, to get the same like style of Thermo King refrigerator unit on the front and the rear. And, you know, you talk about things that were like, I didn't think I'd ever be doing in my life. I really did not ever think there would be a time that I'd be like, oh, I gotta make sure these refrigerator units match on this fake truck and fake trailer. But hey, whatever. So I enjoy that whole process. And I don't know, man. I don't know. What am I trying to say here? Like, having done that for this Volvo, it kind of sucks to, like, I don't think, because we're back up to almost 60 FPS, so I don't think it's the truck. I think it's pro mods in some of these big cities, and me not having enough RAM. New system. Yeah, that's it. I'll just get a new system. But the idea that you find a truck and, you know, you get it all whatever, and then like it doesn't work for you, oh, that kind of stings. Now, I can tell you that, you know, our little Antos, our little Mercedes Antos, well, it has been patched up to 1.32, and I got it. And now here's a funny story. Here's a mod story. If you're like heavily into modding, maybe you'll get this, maybe you won't, I don't know. I got the Mr. Capital Mercedes MP3 and the Mr. Capital MP3 rigid conversion to use the Akari rigid box set. And I was super happy about that. And we had to get to level 15 to use it. Well, then this thing with the Volvo happened, and now this is our rigid. And I also really like the way the rigid looks on the Scania 4 Series. And we're not going to run 3 rigid trucks. So I also found don't crash. I also found another MP3 by, is it Schumi or Scumi? I don't know. SCHUMI. It's an MP3. It basically like, it's like a booster for the base game MP3. I don't think it's a standalone. It might be, but it's really nice. It's really comprehensive. And I was very reluctant to have both of them activated at the same time, to have 2 MP3 mods activated at the same time. And there was a reason for that, and the reason is, if we get a truck and we end up with like a mix and match of parts from both mods, if one or the other of them upgrades in the Steam Workshop, then, you know what I'm saying, we got all kinds of problems, and I don't want to lose a profile. So what I'm saying is, we had that the Mr. Capital MP3 mod like in limbo till we got to level 15, and we were waiting to get that Mr. Capital MP3 going. I say Mr. Capital, could be MR Capital. I don't think it is. I think it's Mr. Capital. But we were waiting to get that thing going, right? Instead, this Volvo jumps the queue, and now this Schumi, I don't know. So I uninstalled the Mr. Capital. I installed the other, and then I saw that the Antos is available too. But instead of buying another Antos, because we have driven one in the past and we've never driven an MP3 in a video, I went ahead and built a little 4x2 MP3, and I got an Akari trailer, but I got one called the City Trailer that is fairly short. So what's going to happen is we're going to finish up in Scandinavia here pretty soon, and I'd like to get down into Spain, because ProMods has those new areas of Spain. I'd like to get down there and do a few videos and then head north and get up into, I want to throw in the Grimes late autumn, early winter weather mod, and get up through northern UK in like November and December, and then get into Iceland in January, in real time, I mean, like in the real world. I want to, so, right, you see what I'm saying? And then we'll go across to Scandinavia and start making our way down in the spring. Like, I'm pushing this out, you know, months ahead of time. But basically, wherever we are, I want wherever we are to be sort of in line with the current weather in the real world. And I thought, let's go down while it's still summer, let's go south into Spain. While it's still autumn, let's go south into Spain, because it wouldn't make sense. It's too early for frosty, right? It's too early for snow on the ground. But it's too late for sort of northern Europe to still be summer. So where is it summer? Well, it's still summer in Spain. So let's go down there and check that out, and then we'll make our way back up the UK as autumn becomes autumn proper, and then we'll get into Iceland in the winter, and then go over to Scandinavia in the winter. Even though we're in Scandinavia right now, it may not be making sense. Sometimes I don't make any sense at all, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, I got a little 4x2 MP3, and I got a little Ikari trailer. I'll show them to you when we're done with our delivery. But the plan was to level up so we could get that Mr. Capital. And instead we got a Volvo, and then after the Volvo, the plan was to get the Antos. And then, of course, we didn't do that either and got the MP3 that we originally wanted in the first place. But we got it from another mod maker. So I don't even know why I make plans, man. Nothing that I plan ever works out. In a good way. Something always comes up. It's always a lot of improvisation in my world. We sort of, you know what I'm saying? We just kind of make it up as we go along. And why wouldn't you? It's a video game. Of all the things, not in a carry trailer, of all the things in this life that you could just like wing it, that's probably one of the best ones. There's really not, do we want to be here? No, I want to be here. Of all the things in life that you can just like pretty much make it up as you go, I'm guessing video games is probably one of the better things to do that with. You don't want to do that with like raising your kids or something. Although people that I know that have kids are like, oh yeah, you just make it up as you go because you have no idea what you're doing, and then things change every day anyway. So maybe that was a bad example, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know, work, like your real job in real life. You probably don't want to just like, hey, I'm just going to do whatever today, see how it goes. So I guess it's nice to have an outlet where there really aren't any consequences. Like the worst possible thing that could ever happen to you in a video game is what? The game breaks? You know, you lose your profile? I guess the worst thing that could happen would be Steam like permanently, you know, whatever, nukes you. But they don't do that too often. They don't do that too often. Although, I guess that sort of leads to another topic. There you go, I'll mention that. I was in race department looking for skins. I was curious if you could get skins for Dirt 4 and Dirt Rally. And sure enough, you can. But these games are like so serious about cheating because there's so many games that are online now. So much competition is online. It's like everybody's got fast internet and everybody's competing with each other, which is a good thing. I like that. It's not personally my you know whatever, but I think it's cool that you can race online now, and there's multiplayer in so many sims now that didn't used to have multiplayer. But in competitive sims, they're doing their best to like make sure there's no cheating, and one of the ways they do that is make sure that everybody has exactly the same game. And the way that they do that is they compare file sizes. So basically, when you plug skins into Dirt 4 or Dirt Rally, it changes the size of the file that holds the skins for that particular car. And when you go online and it scans it to see if you're legit or if you got some kind of like shenanigans, you know what I'm saying, some kind of funny business going on, it spots that file and sees that it's the wrong size. It's not the size it's supposed to be according to the latest update, and it can like permanently ban you. And I don't know if it permanently bans you from multiplayer, but you can keep playing offline, or if it like nukes your game. I don't know. I mean, can you do that? Like if you buy something from Steam and then whatever, you piss them off, can they like straight up just, you know what I'm saying, just lock you out? I don't know. I mean, part of me is like, no, they couldn't do that, and then another part of me is like, it depends on what the terms of service say. They could do anything, man. They can do anything. They can turn your phone off. They can, Apple and Samsung can both brick your phone if you violate your EULA. Well, if you violate it badly enough, I'm guessing, because we all violate our EULA every day. But you know what I'm saying. If you break the rules bad enough with your iPhone or your Galaxy, they can like brick it. So if they can brick a $900 phone because you pissed them off, I'm sure they can permanently deactivate a video game that you bought for 50 bucks. Now I'm curious if you can buy another copy at that point, or if that is like, you know what I'm saying, forever tainted in your library. You know what I'm saying? There's a hole in your heart that used to be Dirt Rally, and you can't ever play it again. And I would imagine that does not extend to Dirt Rally 2. Oh, if it did, no, they couldn't do that. That would be, no, that's beyond lockdown. That's like blackballing somebody. Like, you can't ever game again. I gotta like get plastic surgery and start gaming under an assumed identity, fake name, Ron Mexico. But anyway, in the point of all that, and in the near term, I guess, it's not worth. I don't even race online, but it's not worth it to me to risk like having a game shut down, particularly a game that I really like. So I'm just sticking with the skins I have, and it doesn't. I mean, I don't think you really need skins in Dirt 4 because you sort of build your own skin. You know, you build your own team colors, and you build your own pattern, and you have your own sponsors. So the car, you know, your car in Dirt 4, your car looks like your car. So I don't need to mess with those skins. But I did find the game. Stick together, baby. Stick together. We got 7 kilometers. Hang with me, baby. Come on. I wanted the Alitalia colors on the Lancia Stratos. That is like, there's something so... Oh, game. Oh. This has to be Pro Mods, because it wasn't doing this for the longest time. You know what I'm saying? We'll do all right. We'll do all right. We got all our tiles loaded. We got 1 kilometer to go. Oh, man, I love this game. You see this? See this pulling in here? This is so... This is so nice. So nice. I love this game. There's a Mercedes dealer. When I bought that MP3, of all the dealerships that we've discovered, and we've discovered like, I don't know, 40 or 50 of them, of all the dealerships that we've discovered, there was only one Mercedes dealer, and it was in Slovakia. How'd that work out? I don't know. So perfect timing here. We just got so tired we need to sleep. And where's this thing going? Right there. Okay. We just got... I know. We just got so tired we need to sleep, and we're doing okay on fuel. But this is perfect timing. Now, we can just get this big old thing in here. This guy that never spots for me. Maybe getting in one swing. Maybe. Oh. Can't believe I didn't hit that curb. Right. Maybe. Oh. Fantastic. I didn't hit anything. I don't think I hit anything that entire trip. That's good. That makes me happy. Okay, let's unload this thing. Unload our pork. Fantastic. Leveling up slowly, and then we'll go into the truck manager, and I'll show you this little truck. Well, let me do this. First, I'll show you this little trailer we just got. So, yeah, it's just a short trailer, right? Instead of having, you know, like I always do, a dozen axles and being like 80 feet long, it's got a little basic one. And check this out. Boom. There's a little fella. So we're going to take that rig down to Bilbao. Short truck and a short trailer, and hopefully we'll have better luck in Bilbao and we won't be bouncing off the walls like we were last time. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.